As a kid, my favorite part of school was the lesson plan. The excitement I got from writing down the date, the aim, and the task was a little concerning for a child who didn't quite know how type A they were going to grow up to be. In college, syllabus week was not something I necessarily used as a scapegoat to party. It was a time to start anew, feel fresh in endeavors, and focus on something of interest for a specific amount of time. Sure, a crisp academic planner makes me feel alive, but knowing there's more to check off on my own learning list, ooh, that's one to write home about. So, what exactly is a personal curriculum? A personal curriculum is a customized learning plan built around your goals and/or interests, often called a personal syllabus, monthly curriculum, or lesson plan, but the idea is the same.
You learn whatever you want and you learn however you want to.
Imagine actually setting the tone for the things that matter to you most. This could mean spending or setting aside time to develop new skills, master a course or interest, lock down your to-be-read list, plan a thesis, event, or life change, get more creative on the daily, cook home more and try new foods, round out a flighty friendship, build something from scratch, learn about anything and everything under and beyond the sun. In theory, we should all be delving into our personal curriculum all of the time. In the real world, we struggle with caring about our core feelings enough to make it happen. And that stops here. Alright, so this whole thing is coming about because I am turning 30 this week. There's just been so many things that I thought that I would accomplish before I hit this like milestone of an age. But if I keep contemplating like that for the rest of my existence, I'm not gonna have very sensible reactions to much of anything. So in lieu of always trying to be the most positive girl in the world, want to develop a beautiful personal curriculum at things where I tell you all the time, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to figure this out, I want to do that. I want to be the person in the room that knows the most about it. Oh, I know who to go to. Bianca knows very much about that. So why did we stop at school? Why do we wait until the workplace where we have tasks at hand to accomplish or to learn how to teach our boss something? The personal curriculum at best is you trying to be your best self in your best brain. Moral of all the internalized thoughts unfolding as an external monologue is that we should never stop learning and we should stop pushing things off that we would like to complete. With that, here is a breakdown of my very own personal curriculum. I am putting this into a couple of categories because not everything is related, but everything feels related because I am interested in it and I could spiderweb weave these things. If you want to start by categories, I think that's a pleasant way to get your brain thinking. Learning, skills, upkeep, bookish, activities. I would love to learn more about the diaries of Victorian women. Weirdly obsessed with the Victorian age. Homesteading. It's very cool and quirky and kind of dark and mysterious, but at the same time, I like the fashion and I like the style and I really enjoy how women paved the way for many men. Thing to consider them in their bedrooms at night, writing diary entries of what they did during that day. And I feel like that'll just piece together what parts of the history that I would like to learn about. So this is like a foundation of starting easy with journal diaries, maybe poems, maybe some other things from the Victorian era of understanding how day-to-day life was. I want to learn how to be more sustainable and non-waste. I think I do a very good job at it, but I know there's so much more room to grow and learn. Lastly, for learning during this specific curriculum, I would really like to find out more about the publishing industry, specific to books. I was very intrigued about this in college. I'm really upset at myself for not following through because I used to take mini meetings with my English professors just trying to scope what it really all meant. But I do have a couple of friends that work in publishing, so I know I could tap into their brains and have a little coffee date with them to just understand it more. I'm not giving myself a timeline right now. I just want to open-end this and really seek it out. And then if I find I'm gonna give myself maybe assignments on when to complete things, like, you know, you have to return a library book, that will be my deadline. But I will utilize the New York Public Library, as I always do, to find all of these texts. Next is skills. I really want to learn how to hacky sack. I said last summer that I would, and I never did. I don't know why I didn't follow through with it. I want to be like Gordo from Lizzie McGuire. I've always wanted to hacky sack. I thought it was like a cool California thing to do. My sister just retaught herself how to juggle, so want to have a thing to like focus on instead of of doom scrolling as well. And I think learning how to hacky sack will be really fun. Aside from that, another skill that I really would like is to get like a Google certification. There's so many programs, so many free courses. I'm not sure exactly which one that I want to do yet. I know that I have to sit down behind the computer and see which piques my interest the most, whether or not it's like SEO or paid ads, or, you know, I'm not necessarily so interested in that, but I think it'll be good for me to learn and grow and understand. There was a lot of classes that I took in college that were based on this exact sentiment, and I'd be like, I'm not that excited for this class, but then the class would surprise me and the texts and the documents would be very fun for me and very exciting. So I think I might have to go a little bit outside of my comfort and just pick something, roll with it, and it'll be fabulous, and then you'll get a Google certification at the end. Next is Upkeep. Really like to go analog, which for starters means buying a analog alarm clock. So one that wakes you up with a timer every day and the radio station turns on, shut it off. I think waking up to my own phone alarm makes me physically have to put my phone in my hand and then you're on it. I don't think we wake up as seamlessly. I think we wake up with a lot of anxiety. At least I feel like I have been, so I think that would help me. Secondly, I do not want to buy things until I'm empty. I have this really bad habit of going to the store and always buying a can of beans. This is the best theory I could give you. We don't need that. I don't need to do that. I need to finish things in my pantry and finish things in my freezer and fridge before I physically go out and like replace them. Same with makeup, same with skincare. I do not need things until they are empty. For the end of the semester, I would like to declutter. I already started with my closet. I would like to probably do my drawers. I did my books. Next, I think I need to do my shoes. And then another upkeep. This is a fun one and it brings me back to the Victorian theme. To start waking up and giving myself Victorian breakfast trays. And then in the middle of the day, a Victorian tea tray. The art of having a tea party in the middle of the day has gone away. I know in the UK when I worked there, I worked in London in like 2015. Middle of the day, you'd have tea. I worked in Sweden and in the middle of the day, you'd have your fika. Things like that are just not as implemented in the US. Of course, through the Victorian era, I know we probably lost that along the way. I really want just the ritualisticness of it to come back, so I'm going to start doing it in my own world. Bookish. You have heard me talk about this for probably over a year. I want to start commonplacing. I think naturally in my little journals, I technically commonplace, and it's a reference book and a guide for me to understand what I want to do, how I'm going to accomplish it, dates that I need to remember, what skills that I need to have in order to make that happen. But I bought this book in Edinburgh and I have not taken the plastic off because I told myself I'm using this book for commonplacing, and for some reason or another I am scared to start. Of course, you guys know I keep journals, but I have other books that I just want to continue ritualistically doing this now. The way that I may set this up is while I do my Victorian tea tray, that might be the time of day where I set aside to ensure I write one page of a journal entry. So I'm sandwiching those together because it makes sense to me, and that's the way I see this schooling of academics of Bianca flowing. And if I find that that's too much, maybe in the evening when I'm winding down and resetting myself and setting the timer for my analog alarm clock, maybe that's when I journal instead. But we won't know until we continue to try. And I think the key here is to be flexible. I want to write an essay on this past year. I think this will probably come in December when I'm doing my reflections and I start doing my resolutions and I go in my manifestation journal and I start like mapping and streamlining out everything that I ever felt like I needed. But I would like to write an essay. I have a lot of friends that are professors, specifically English professors, so I very much might go the extra mile and ask them to give me maybe a prompt. Another topic of Bookish would be, yes, I go to the New York Public Library to get out all of my Victorian diary entries, but in that same breath, the New York Public Library has so many activities, classes, courses, community workshops. The last time I went to the library, they had a little pamphlet brochure about, do you want to be in our zine? It was like writing a poem to be put in the zine of the New York Public Library, so I think I want to do stuff like that more. So one time be involved in a library event and it'll push me again out of my comfort zone. Separately on the Bookish thing is the to be read list. So number 1 is going to be The Secret Garden. Number 2 is going to be something that somebody recommended to me. Now for activities, to host a themed event, whether or not this be a tea party, a vampire soiree, gathering, or an aesthetic Pinterest idea. I always have a lot of fun ideas and I have a lot of friends that I know would love these ideas, and I don't really necessarily host ever. On the topic of setting things up and trying to figure out experiential design, I want to set up like a thrift and swap, which essentially means all of the things that I am decluttering for this rest of semester. I want to do like a clothing and product goods, just make like a community board about it. The whole concept of it doesn't have to be complete because the concept will come from that being my assignment, is organizing a thrift swap in me, finalizing all the details after that. And I'm going to set up some sort of academic syllabus mockup that kind of sort of will look like this. Course description, any insights or quotes, course objectives, required texts. This is, the to be read. Do you need to order or find an alarm clock, tea tray? Then it's required actions and deliverables. So in this section, you would probably set your timeline for yourself if you wanted one, or just give yourself like a mini checklist on what to do to get started. Accountability and responsibility is one of the last ones, which in theory is telling you guys so you could hold me accountable for how my personal curriculum is going. So if you need a more structured version, you can follow these 5 steps into crafting your curriculum. 1. Choose themes or interests. 2. Point out how you would like to learn. 3. Set a flow for yourself and or a timeline. 4. Be gracious and flexible with learning and doing. 5. Reflect on continuing and adapt as you go. There is no right or wrong way to create a curriculum. It's yours to make and ideate. If working better on a deadline is how you hold yourself accountable, by all means. Finding the flow to do so throughout the next semester also works too. I am taking it one step at a time because some tasks, hobbies, and activities may take me longer to master, while of course some others could be quicker turnarounds. The goal is not to rush finals. It is to learn loosely, understand reasonings, and seek a part of ourselves we lost somewhere along the way. Maybe even become the person we imagined we'd inevitably be. The only practical next step I can grasp is picking a book, a binder, or a digital file on how to organize the exact plan of action. As if we're truly with an eagerness to learn, grow, and channel our inner Hermione Granger, the key to managing time is wherever you need it to be, even if that means it's right around your neck. Please let me know what's on your agenda and make sure that you are subscribed. Please use the comments as a community board to hold yourselves accountable, or to even just dump out your brain for your first rough draft of what you want your syllabus to look like. I really appreciate you guys watching. Have a lovely day. See you in my next video. Bye!